Hello, everyone. Welcome to Durrett's Take. This will be my only show for the week. It's been pretty busy. I'm on vacation. Um, let's get started. There's a lot that's kind of happened over the weekend. So to start off, I want to transition to talking about college football real quick. So the big news. It wasn't big news at the time, but for me, I think it's personally big news. That Oklahoma and Missouri game got moved up to early on the 29th, so basically week 0 of the college football season. So in my opinion, this is really good because this means that the SEC and Big 12, maybe the ACC, are planning on either a full non-conference slate, or at the very least they'll have a conference only plus doing a +1 or maybe even a +2 exception type of thing. And if that's the case, then that's good because for the independent teams, it'll help them out a lot, and they can give us more exciting games. So the commissioner still need to obviously come out in a few days and need to reveal what they're going to do. But at least this looks like on the right track, though, because I doubt the ADs will move a game up to week 0, August 29th, if they thought they were going to do conference only like Big 10 and Pac-12. So, I mean, I feel like this is good. It's a good sign, and it's good progress. I know that baseball has had its struggles recently, but I feel like all the other sports are doing just fine so far, so let's hopefully keep it going. So now to discuss the Knicks coaching hire. So here's why the hire of Tom Thibedaue is fine for now. You can't deny that Tom Thibedaue builds programs. Like, he built Chicago. The franchise, Jordan Pippen left, the franchise was irrelevant, basically. But then they got Derrick Rose, and then Jimmy Butler, and Carlos Boozer after his prime, and Taj Gibson. And they were just one of the best defensive teams because he's a good defensive coordinator type of coach. And they were in the annual playoff team, and then at one point made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. If it wasn't for LeBron, they would have been in the actual finals. And who knows, maybe I've won that. And not making the finals because LeBron's a good excuse, because, Toronto, that's the same thing with them. LeBron kept on stopping them every year. And then he went to Minnesota, and while he struggled once Jimmy Butler got traded from Minnesota, he led Minnesota to the playoffs one year, which hardly ever happens for them. And I know it's just the 8th seed and they only won one game and stuff, but hey, for Minnesota, for a team that usually sucks every year, getting into the playoffs is an accomplishment itself. Because back when KG was there, that was the only other time they were kind of relevant, and even then they weren't so-so. So I feel with the new management coach hired, Tom Thibedaue, at least can get the Knicks back to the playoffs. Now, I'm not going to expect it to happen this season. There's still a bunch of work that he has to do to kind of get, especially since he's coaching a lot more younger players, like he has to kind of get them to follow his system, which honestly I'm not sure if they would even do or not. But we'll see if he adapts or the player adapts or vice versa. But I feel, and also I don't see the Knicks winning a championship anytime soon because you got Milwaukee, assuming if Giannis stays, Toronto, Boston, Philly, Miami, Indiana, and Brooklyn will all be dominating over the next few years. So that's 7 teams right there. So it means there's only one spot for the Knicks to try to get. And like I said, I don't think it'll be next year, but the year after that, I feel like they can get. And if they can be an 8th seed or a potentially 7th seed every single year, it's like, and become an annual playoff team like that. I guess that's a win because, again, the Knicks are horrible because of James Dolan. And no one wants to go play for him. But that's good enough. So in my mind, in total, this was not the best hire they could have done. I feel like they could have done a better hire, especially if it might already hire like Mark Jackson or Tyronn Lue or something like that. But this was basically a safe hire, a settle hire, if you will, which sometimes those work out, but sometimes they don't. So we'll kind of see how this goes. And then the Jets, they finally traded Jamal Adams over the weekend to the Seattle Seahawks. So the Jets will receive Bradley McDougal, 3rd pick for 2021, and then 2 first-round picks in 2021 and 2022 from Seattle. And I think Seattle may get a 4th pick from Jets. I'm not sure. And then, so as a Cowboys fan, I'm sad that the Cowboys didn't pull the trigger, especially since I know Jamal Adams was the first priority for his choices, just because he's from the DFW area. But understand what the Seattle gave up, I totally understand, and actually am glad Jerry Jones pulled the trigger because I feel like they overcompensated a little bit, especially since they knew Jamal Adams had to be traded. So they could have done just 1 first round versus 2. But anyways, I'm also glad that Jamal Adams didn't get traded to San Francisco, Baltimore, or Kansas City because that would have just made things really, really, really unfair. And then I didn't think Houston, because of Bill O'Brien's GM, or Philly would have been a good fit either way. So realistically, the option was between my Cowboys and Seattle, and it ended up being Seattle. And now let's talk what this means for the Jets and Seahawks. For the Jets, you may get some good players from this and stuff, but and they still have Sam Darnold, Le'Veon Bell, and that good linebacker Moses. But I just feel like the problem is Adam Gase is just not the coach, and I feel like as long as he's the coach and this function that he brings, they're going to be last every single year in their division, because the Bills got better. The Patriots are going to be the Patriots as long as Bill Belichick is there, and then Miami's going to get better for sure. So if I'm the Jets, I would maybe this season. This is the final season for, I guess, in my opinion. If he doesn't go above 500, you gotta automatically fire him and find someone good. And then I guess the owner's okay as well. But if they can get new personnel, that'd be great. But if not, well, it's basically the Jets right now are becoming basically like the Browns. Just so many dysfunction that even with good players, they can't do anything. Now for the Seahawks, I was already high on them before this trade, because I felt like they were going to be at the minimum a wild card team. I thought they could beat the Fizzy again, but it would be like a battle to the wire type of thing with the 49ers once again to win the division like last year, because it came down to a yard basically. But if I'm the 49ers, I'd be sweating right now, because Seahawks just got better, and again, you're in a tough division because Rams are at least decent, and Arizona on offense will be really good type of thing. So it's not going to be easy, and in my mind, the Seahawks now could potentially have just gone from a wild card team. Okay, now we're going to win the division, get at least one home playoff game. Now, I don't think this is going to make them the automatic number one seed, because I'm still on the Saints, because I thought they had built our roster. But again, this Seahawks, if they weren't a contender before, even though I thought they were a contender, even if they weren't St. People's Minds, they're definitely a contender now. Now, I do feel like Seattle is still missing another piece or two on the defense to make them better. They can just come to terms with Jamal Cloudy, who's still a free agent now, make things even better. But we'll see on that. And then last but not least, I want to talk about the NBA, because the NBA is starting up this week in a few days. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over my predictions for each game from Thursday all the way till Monday, before I'll make more predictions next week. So for Thursday, you have the New Orleans versus Utah matchup. Now I heard, so Zion's now practicing, and I heard he might play. Now, if he doesn't play, I feel like Utah will automatically win the game. But if Zion plays for New Orleans, then the game will be really close. I'm going to lean towards Utah, but again, it will surprise me, especially if Zion plays, the Pelicans win. And then Lakers versus Clippers. Now, Anthony Davis is going to be questionable with the eye injury, but I'm going to assume he's playing. Patrick Beverley, I'm not sure if he's playing or not. He might be out for this game. And then Lou Williams is definitely out of games. I'm not going to go into what he did. Y'all know what that. I'm not going to talk about that. You already know the deal there. But without Lou Williams and Pat Beverley, and I think at least another bench player or two is going to be missing for the Clippers. So this is going to be a game where Lakers win. Now, how the Clippers winning this one begin like a month or two ago? But yeah, with everything that's happened, Lakers are going to win this one. And then Friday, you got Orlando versus Brooklyn. Brooklyn is just going to be super messy. Half their players are out and stuff, and they're trying to fill in pieces. So this is the game for Orlando's to win, especially since starting off, Orlando should have a home court advantage even if there's no fans, because they didn't have to travel far. And then Memphis versus Portland. This game's a little bit of a toss-up for me, but with Portland's better players, I'm going to stick with them. Phoenix versus Washington. Washington without Bradley Beal is not going to accomplish anything. I doubt they're going to win any games whatsoever. So I'm going to take Phoenix, especially since they've been looking very strong in the scrimmages. And then Boston versus Milwaukee. I feel like Milwaukee with Giannis and their team. I feel like Boston could compete against them, but I feel like starting off, I feel like Milwaukee would be more on a groove type of thing, because I feel like Boston's been kind of sluggish the scrimmages, so I would give the edge to Milwaukee there. Sacramento versus San Antonio. Again, without LaMarcus Aldridge, I feel like San Antonio's not going to win any games. They have a hard schedule, so I'm going to give the edge to Sacramento here. Maybe Sacramento could be a dark horse playoff team, because they're in the same spot as the Pelicans right now. We have to talk about Pelicans as a potential playoff team, so we'll kind of see there what happens to Sacramento. And then Houston versus Dallas, again, a toss-up game here. But since Dallas is more deep, they're both deep, don't get me wrong, but since Dallas is a little more deep, and I feel like they could take advantage of since Houston's going small ball, I feel like Dallas can take advantage with having either Kristaps Porzingis or who can shoot the three, Kleba, or even if they want to put Boba on there, just get dunks. I feel like it's going to be an advantage for them. So Dallas will win barely. And then Saturday, you got Miami versus Denver. I'm going to have Denver winning that one. They've been really good in scrimmages, especially since Mobile. Their secret weapon's been doing really good, and if he can continue his play, then Denver's going to be really tough. Utah versus Oklahoma City. I'm going to take Utah barely because I feel like Oklahoma City is not going to be prepped. Well, not prepped is the wrong word, but I feel like they had a magical run this regular season by now. I feel like they're going to get exposed. Maybe not, but we'll see. New Orleans versus Clippers. Even though Williams will still be out here, I feel like Clippers can actually still win this game. But again, it wouldn't surprise me New Orleans because the upset here. The Philly, Indiana. Even with Victor Oladipo back, I feel like Philly can win this game. And then Lakers versus Toronto. I feel like Toronto can actually get the upset here and win this game. Sunday, Washington versus Brooklyn. This will be the one chance for Brooklyn to get a win here and try to maintain the 7th spot so they can avoid playing Milwaukee in the first round. Portland versus Boston. Again, tough one. Go either way here. I'm going to lean towards Boston. San Antonio, Memphis. Chance for Memphis to get a win here. Sacramento versus Orlando. Again, home court advantage. I'm going to take Orlando here. Milwaukee versus Houston. This one will be tough. I'm actually going to pick Houston for the upset. Because one thing about Milwaukee, like I mentioned a month or two earlier when I was making predictions, since they basically have the number 1 seed locked up, they're not going to really have to play a lot of stars and stuff. Or at least get the stars a lot of minutes type of thing, so they can force some losses. And then Dallas versus Phoenix. I'm going to take Dallas. And then on Monday, you have Toronto versus Miami. This one will be a tough one, but I'm going to pick Miami here for the upset. Denver versus Oklahoma City. I'm going to take Denver. Indiana versus Washington. I'm going to take Indiana. Because again, I don't feel like Washington can win any game. So yeah, sorry, I think it broke up here, but I'm going to take Indiana for Washington, by the way. And then Memphis versus New Orleans. So this is the matchup we're all excited to see and looking forward to. Memphis is actually really strong in the scrimmages, and I do feel like this is one of those toss-up games. But I'm going to take New Orleans. And then San Antonio versus Philly. Of course, Philly, I'm going to take that. Lakers versus Utah. I'm going to take Lakers. And then I'll go over on Tuesday of next week is what I plan to do. I'm going to go over how I did for these games right here, and then go ahead and make my predictions for next week. So thank you very much for y'all listening to my show. Please subscribe to my channel, let everyone know about me. Please leave comments what you'd like to talk to me about in the future. Thank you very much, and y'all have a wonderful week.